In episode 9, I had Margaret come on, and she was one of the leaders in Clear Choice as they scaled their business. And she shared what it was like being one of the first female entrepreneurs that was leading the way in the dental industry. You've been in the dental industry now for a while. So what's one of the biggest changes that you've seen when you started with Clear Choice to today that's happened inside the dental industry?
I think there are more and more women in positions of leadership. I typically was the only woman on the executive team. And to some extent, I really think that drove my kind of no-nonsense approach. Or some people have said to me, some docs have said to me, somehow you can yell at me and I am all in. You're just very straightforward. And I'm like, okay, I think that's a good thing. I'm also very data-based because I had to bring data to be believed, frankly. There was no innate belief in me and my leadership skill. So I had to bring data.
When you started in the industry, you were the only female on your team, or was it what was it like when you got started?
I mean, I hired some on my team, but I never saw, I rarely, okay. So in the early days of Clear Choice, I was like, we need to be hiring. Now, I was doing doctor recruiting and hiring just because you have to do everything. So I was doing doctor recruiting and hiring, and I really was going after female docs. And I was questioned about that. Like, this is like kind of a new phenomenon. We're not sure what they'll be like as a leader in the practice. And I was like, give me a break. Would you agree that we could try it with 2 people and we'll monitor outcomes and then we'll go from there? I mean, that's hard to say no to. So They're like, yeah, I mean, they are just as successful as any other gender out there, right? So it's been wonderful, I think, to see. I just don't think we have enough voices of diversity in the industry yet, whether it's female, whether it's different genders, whether it's different ethnicities. It doesn't matter. We don't have enough diversity in dental, I don't think.
And so that's been one of the bigger changes that you've seen since you've started, is that that started to change and people are moving in the right direction on that. And obviously, to your point, that needs to continue to happen. In episode 17, my friend Chelsea came in and helped us on how to transition our mindset from having scarcity to abundance. For those listening, I know one of the things that you do is mindset coaching. Could you break that down for us?
Yeah. I think the way that I would think about it is, I've been flying a lot lately. So this example just comes to mind when you say that. But before you take off, they're always going through their tutorial about how to use the oxygen mask and to make sure that you put yours on first so that you don't pass out helping other people. And the thing about being a high performer is that we generally have a really high tolerance for involved or emotionally charged situations. And that's a really good thing. But because we're so engaged in all of the moving parts, we may not be attentive to our maxing out point. And so when we're maxing out, we're no longer delivering the same connection, the same results. We're not able to create useful energy or be as productive, right? And so we've got to put that oxygen mask on ourselves first. And so our clinicians, it's so important because they are leading teams. They're leaving impressions on the community, and they're oftentimes building families of their own. And if they're not getting what they need, they're not going to be able to step up as an owner. So examples of personal oxygen might be daily habits like morning meditation or workouts. They're writing, reading, taking a break from tech, making time for hobbies. These are all components of what I would describe as managing your mind around the developmental processes involved in becoming a dental entrepreneur.
I love that. Yeah. And that's, I love when you talk about these kind of things, because I always feel like you're talking to me, right? Like I'm like, oh yeah, I need to start doing those things, right? And I always try to get better, right? I have a morning routine, I work out, all those kind of things. But these are all things that I've added over time to help me get better. And I know that you help build mindsets or mental frameworks for people to work through. I love your airline example of the air masks falling down, because that's exactly what it is. You can't go and put everybody else's air mask on until you take care of yours.